Hey everyone, I'm Erin and welcome to the Cardboard Republic. It is October and so we have a very special October haul video for you. We're going to go through 13 of the games that we got in this month. Stay tuned. First up is a small expansion to Cacao. This expansion adds maps and some additional villages and market tiles, but the biggest thing it adds is actually chocolate. You can now make your cocoa beans into chocolate, which I'm so excited for because I love the base game. It's a really simple yet challenging, fun little gateway-ish game, and I think that having an expansion for it is gonna put it back into our regular rotation. We played it pretty heavily for a while, and then it sort of faded away, so now we get to put it back on the table. Probably the heftiest game in our haul is Forbidden Stars. This is like a 3-hour plus area control game set in the Warhammer universe. In this one, you are trying to achieve a whole series of objectives in order to win the game. It's area control, like I said, but instead of just trying to maintain your base or to cover the most of the map, you have to go through as many of these goals as you can before the end of the game. Now, this game is special because it is a Fantasy Flight title, but it is about to go out of print. And Ryan was dying to get his hands on it before that happened, and he lost his chance forever, or at least for the next few years. No one really knows. So he had to fight with Amazon, ordering and getting kicked out, and ordering and getting kicked out over and over and over again for really far longer than I probably would have, in order to get this game. So we are definitely going to play it soon just to make that whole process worth it. On the opposite side of the gaming spectrum is Cluster Fight. This is a game that pits two random things against each other to see who would win in a fight. So you might have Batman versus Abe Lincoln, or, I don't know, the Seventh Circle of Hell versus the current election season, and you have to decide who would win in a fight. Now, you do that by modifying the cards that are out there to add strengths or weaknesses as you go. This game was put out by a couple of friends of ours, and we had a chance to play a while back, but we weren't able to get a copy during the first printing. Now it is back, and we are super happy to get our hands on it. Next up is Tin Goose. This is a game about creating an airline during the first few years of airline travel. And to do that, you have to buy yourself some planes and you have to plan some routes, but you also have to manage what they call disruptive events. I'm not quite sure what those are, but I have some ideas. Regardless, I love the idea that modern Euros tend to have, where you have your economic simulation and your engine that you're building, and then they throw in something random and thematic to disrupt your whole process. I love having to deal with those in a game, even when they're not in my favor, because it adds something. I don't know. I'm excited for this one just to see what those are, and we will let you know how it goes. This is a really, really good gaming month for us. The next title is Escape from Colditz Castle. This is a game that first came out in the 70s, and it was wildly popular, especially in England. It was actually more popular than Monopoly at the time. And that's because the game has a lot of history behind it. The designer was actually in one of these prisoner of war camps in Nazi Germany, and he was able to escape. He went on to design this game, as well as write a book and tell a story in multiple different formats. The game is all about escaping from one of those prisoner camps. Now, to do that, you have to plan, and you have to be very, very clever about it. I can't wait to try this one. I think that World War II games can be a little tricky in the current gaming atmosphere. There are a ton of them out there, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. This one, because of its history, has a level of authenticity that I think a lot of gamers will appreciate, and that also makes me feel, I don't know, like that's one of the cool things about gaming, right? Is experiencing stories in a different way and being able to put yourself into those stories in a way that you can't do with a book or a movie. So I want to try this and see what it makes me feel. Lewis and Clark: The Expedition is another historical game. This one is obviously about the Lewis and Clark expedition. In it, you are creating a party to travel with them. You have to play cards and manage your resources and overall just try to get through it all alive. I have played the dice version of this game now a whole bunch of times. We just reviewed it on our podcast in October, and it's really, really interesting. I have kind of like a love-hate relationship with it. I really, really love what it's trying to do, but sometimes actually playing it is kind of a struggle for me. So I want to see if this version, which is primarily card-based, is any different. Next up is Morocco. This is a game about trying to compete for space and money and customers in the biggest market in Marrakesh. Now, you have to take advantage of your bodyguards and your family in order to do that, while also trying to avoid tourists, even though tourists give money, but I don't know, I'm sure it's explained in the game. I am a little hesitant on this one because I'm not sure, based on the artwork and what I've seen on the back of the box, I'm not sure about its portrayal of Morocco. I think that modern games have kind of an obligation to portray different cultures, especially cultures that aren't the designer's native culture, in a I don't know, authentic way, I guess. And I am wary that this does not do that. But I could be totally wrong. I don't know the designer's backstory. I don't know the game yet. I'm just judging it based completely 100% on its cover. So I'm gonna play it and I will report back. Take everything I say with a grain of salt for now. That is what a haul video is all about. First impressions. Crazy Carts is next on our list, and it is thematically so different from everything else I've shown so far. This is a game about racing and attacking with these ridiculous go-karts, but the catch is that you and your teammate each control half of the go-kart. One of you can brake and turn, the other one of you can move forward or attack. Now, you don't get to talk to each other about what your plans are. So this is the weirdest little social experiment game I've seen build on like a large scale in quite a while. And I am curious to play this with Ryan and see how good our communication skills really are. He's shaking his head. Five Tribes is another controversial-ish game that we have in our October haul this time. So Five Tribes was originally put out with essentially slave cards in the game. That didn't sit well with a lot of people. Some people did not bother them, but some people weren't comfortable with that. We didn't buy the game until that had changed, and actually also until we were able to get a deal on the game, because we buy a lot of games. And we just finally found a deal at Barnes & Noble, so we now have Five Tribes. This is a worker placement game that's sort of in reverse. Instead of placing workers, you are picking workers up to take actions. And I'm excited to finally try it because it was such a big talking piece for so long that I felt really left out of that conversation. And now I get to join in because I am comfortable playing this version now. Now we are going to move into the Essen games. Michael from Little Metal Dog Show was kind enough to schlep these all the way back from Europe for us. First up is Cacao #1. This is a game about cats playing volleyball. You play cards to move the volleyball around. The cutest part, aside from the adorable cats on all the cards, is that when you score, one of your cats in the back row gets really bored and sleepy and decides to just fall asleep on you. Come on! I love it. Next is Planet Defenders. This, to me, might be just as cute as Cacao. So in this game, you are trying to stop these robots who have been disposed of and have spontaneously decided to recharge themselves and come back to wreak havoc. Now, the artwork is so cute. I don't even care what this game is about. The artwork is amazing. The little robots, and the little planets. That's a garden planet. It has flowers all over it. This is amazing. We need more games like this. The last game that was kindly delivered to us from Essen is Papa Paulo. This is a game about delivering the best pizzas all across Naples. To do that, you have to bid on different tiles, lay them down correctly, create your own little corner of the city, and deliver pizza to it. That's pretty great because I love pizza. I'm not quite sold on this artwork. It's a little weird to be able to like look down several women's dresses on a board game cover. Not sure how I feel about that, but there are women on the cover. So that's, I don't know, is that better than most board games? Unclear. I'll get back to you on that. Either way, this is a heavier Euro game than I've played in a little while, and I am excited to try it while eating pizza and thinking about pizza and probably talking about pizza, because pizza is one of the things I talk about most. Finally, just in time for Halloween, the expansion to Betrayal at House on the Hill. Widow's Walk adds like 50 new scenarios to the base game. It's the first expansion for that game, which is weird because the game is actually pretty popular and has been out for a while, and I'm excited to try it. I love horror games, and I especially love it when they are not all 100% Lovecraft. This adds new tiles, new stories, new enemies, traitors, whatever. And we got to try it at PAX. We got to try like a little bit of it at PAX in this like curtained off room that made me feel kind of celebrity-ish, which was neat. And I really, really liked it. So I think, never really played the base game all the way through. And this is making me want to, like, right now. Okay, those are all the games we got in, well, most of the games we got in during... Okay, I lied! We also got in Twilight Imperium because Ryan decided to buy it for, don't worry, it wasn't that expensive, at the Granite Game Summit. Now, he wasn't gonna tell me this, as if I wouldn't notice this game suddenly in our house. We only play Twilight Imperium like once every other year, and we always play it with the same friends, all of whom own a copy of this game. In case you haven't noticed, shelf space is a bit of a premium here. And now we've lost even more of it because he wanted his own copy for some reason, even though we're probably not going to play it for another like 16 months. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. You know what? Now that is everything we have for October. 13 games, because I'm not counting Twilight Imperium. 13 games, very seasonal. Most of them I am actually super excited for this month. Most of them. And we are going to report back on all of them as soon as we can. I know that Ryan has actually already played Cacao, and judging by the laughter I heard, it was a hit. Now, if you have any games that you got in during October, we would love to hear it. Seeing what games you're getting can help us judge what we should be playing too. So leave a comment down below and tell us what is new to your shelves. Also, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And as always, we have a Patreon up and running, and the Patreon is what lets us do all of this cool stuff that we are able to do. Thank you to our Patreon backers. We will be back soon with probably our to be played for November. I'm expecting a few of these games to appear on it. Bye!